Let's go to the complete and narrated chapter of One Piece, Min 59, shall we? After the intro, Hello everyone, welcome to the channel.
Manga Information
And before we dive into
Channel.
today's content,
Before
don't
we
forget to
dive
leave your
into
like,
this
subscribe to the
content, I just
channel,
want to
and
ask
hit the
you to
notification
hit
bell.
that
That way
like
you won't
button,
miss a thing.
subscribe to the
And
channel,
well, let's get to the
turn on
video.
notification bell. It will help
Pap,
the channel
page
grow
1.
and reach even more people.
Chapter
Now,
1159,
without
The Island
any
of Fate,
further delay,
Ogre
let's
Child
get
Yamato's
into today's
Golden
video.
Harvest
Let's go.
Surrogate Pilgrimage, Voller 40. Now let's stuff our faces with apples and return to the flower capital. Note, page 1 is holding a bag full of apples, while Yamato and Ulti are eating some. This seems to be a play on words, since Ringo is the Japanese word for apple, and they are currently in the Ringo region of Wano country. It's also worth noting that the Ringo region has a harsh, wintry climate, always covered in snow, conditions in which apples thrive. From what I have researched, apples grow best in temperate and cooler climates because they require what are called chilling hours, a certain number of hours below approximately 7 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Fahrenheit, during winter, to properly break dormancy and produce flowers and fruit in spring. In summary, it seems that Ringo apples are the main or special product of the Ringo region in Wano country. Page 2, opening note. The beginning of an uproar, 39 years ago, Pirate Island, Hachinosu. We see turmoil in Hachinosu, and a body on the ground. Pirate says, "Did you search properly?" Another pirate says, "It happened during last night's guard duty. Don Marlin and his men were killed." Another pirate says, "They couldn't even protect Don Marlin." Another pirate says, "That's impossible. Who in the world did this?" Rox D. Seebeck says, "What did you say?" Newgate, shocked, says, "Huh?" Rox, furious, shouts, "Our precious Shaki has been kidnapped." The crime only lasted a few hours, but page 3. There were no clues about the incident. The pirates were confused and trembled with rage. We see Wangji Ochoku counting a wad of money with sparkly eyes and his tongue sticking out. Gloriosa is crying, as well as the pirates of Hachinosu. The news spread across all the seas. Roger, furious, tears up the newspaper and says, "That bastard Rox! What the hell is he doing? I'm gonna beat him to a pulp." Rayleigh says, "Shaki." Note, Rayleigh called her by her nickname Shaki and not by her real name, Shakuyaku. Narrator, people lost hope, their smiles vanished, and the world's economic activity came to a halt for several weeks. 1 year after the incident. West Blue, God Valley. We see a red-haired woman, the mother of Shanks and Shamrock. "Happy to see Garling," she says. Woman says, "Garling, I'm so glad. I knew you would come back. Look, these are your sons, Shamrock and Shanks." Garling says, "Twins, huh? They're cute." Woman says, "Yes, they're your children. Please, live together with me on this island." Garling says, "No, even if we live together, this island won't last. It will be lost soon." Woman says, "What do you mean?" Woman says, "I have already chosen and ordered a wife suitable for me. If I win this tournament, I will take her as my wife." Tournament, page 5. Suddenly, we see Garling stabbing the woman. The twin babies cry. Garling speaks into the Denden Mushi. "Make the preparations." Marines respond, "Yes, sir." We're making land now. We see many ships and Marines landing on God Valley. Citizens of God Valley, the Marine ships of the world government. Citizen says, "Yes, they've surrounded the whole island." Another says, "Is there a criminal here on this island?" Another shouts, "Get the children inside." Marine says, "Use only tranquilizers. Capture those who aren't resisting as they are." Page 6. We see that this Marine is the young Monkey D. Dragon. Dragon says, "Lieutenant Commander, what's the goal of this military operation?" Marine officer says, "It's a military exercise, and you're 10 years too early to be asking me questions, rookie."
Sir.
But, sir. Hey, squad leader, who is this insolent brat? My apologies. I'll be more careful teaching him. Citizen says, "You guys, did something happen?" The citizen is shot with a tranquilizer dart. We see a woman, the same one protecting her children during the Celestial Dragons tournament back in chapter 1096. She screams in despair. Marines shout, "Do not resist. Nothing will happen to you." Woman says, "What?" Citizen says, "Run. They're capturing everyone." Another citizen says, "But why?" Dragon says, they're just ordinary citizens. Another Marine says, don't think about it. Individual thoughts only hinder the army's will. Focus on completing the operation. Ash, page 7. Dragon tells a citizen, it's all right. These are just tranquilizers. It's not like I'm going to kill you. I'm sorry, but if you allow yourself to be captured, I won't shoot. Desperate citizen says, I don't know what's happening, but we're leaving the island. Get out of the way. Dragon shoots them with a tranquilizer. Dragon says, what is this? Then we hear a Marine communication. Voice, put on your masks. We're launching sleeping gas bombs. Patch, page 8. The scene changes. We see a large black Marine ship. Narration box, Marine prison ship transporting slaves. Communications room, we see a Marine patrolling while someone hides. Sounds zzz, zzz, zzz. Ping! Marine says, Seems like someone was here. We see Ginny, Ivankov, and some slaves. Young Guinea says, big brother. Young Ivankov says, Ginny, I'm so glad you're safe. Young Guinea says, it went well. Now it's up to the news shop to pick it up. Note, the kanji here is Qingbaowa, Gohuya, which literally means information broker or news shop. This could be an epithet for Morgans or simply a reference to journalists in general. Slave says, you'd better keep quiet, okay? Don't do anything stupid. Another slave says, we'll be punished for this too. Young Ivankov says, punished? Page 9. Young Ivankov shouts, you idiots! We're all gonna die! We don't even know where this ship is headed. Don't think you'll just get lucky and be saved without even trying to live. Don't underestimate miracles. Young Ginny says, big brother, Marines shout, the slaves are going wild. Young Kuma, with a slight smile, says, sounds like quite the energetic slave. Narration box, C for Paul, Intelligence Division. Agent says, incredible information? What is it this time? We see a young Morgans wearing a beret. He says, don't play dumb. No way you guys haven't heard about this. Well then, give me the money. I'm talking about that whole wouldn't it be better if I kept my mouth shut deal. Agent says, you're just a local paper with a name a kid most likely came up with. How could you possibly have such absurd information gathering ability? You're gonna get eliminated, you know? Morgan's ha. I'd like to see you try. Whatever happens, I'll still leak this info to Pirate Island. Narration box. Morgans, president of the World Economy Newspaper Company. Page 10. We return to Pirate Island, Hachinosu. A pirate rushes in with information. Pirates shout, Shaki is alive! Another pirate says, hey, is that true? Another says, thank goodness. Another says, where is she now? Answer, God Valley. Pirate says, where in the world is that? Wang Ji says, that sounds dubious. Is the info reliable? Wang Ji looks nervous and sweating. Stussy says internally, the Marines are a bit chaotic. There's no doubt about it. Captain John says, she's a prize for the Celestial Dragons game? Ganzui says, that means the ones who kidnapped Shaki were those bastards from the government? Shaki. Newgate says, the Celestial Dragons human hunt? I only thought it was a baseless rumor, but Linlin says, there are also devil fruit prizes. Kaido, don't you want one? Kaido says, what are the powers? Linlin says, this might be good for my children. Stroyson says, this could be a trap, right? Rock shouts, shut up. Page 11. Rock says, anyone who's afraid, stay here on the island. Let's go. To God Valley. Roger pirates. Roger says, Gabun. Where the hell is God Valley? It's not that close, but we'll make haste. We're going, right, lads? Rayleigh and the others. Of course, Rayleigh is fired up. Roger says, so the rocks are moving too, huh? Let's beat them to it. Kong says, unexpectedly, Roger is making his move too. Garp says, then let me know first. I'm going. Narrator says, of all things, that small piece of classified information ended up provoking the strongest of the seas to act. Page 12, Rock's pirate, unclear who is speaking. It's the giant's ship. Doesn't matter. Sink it. Wait. Rock's pirates say, what's this? Don't stop us, Rocks. Harold says, Rocks? I was instructed to stop a pirate crew obsessed with a single woman. If we put our lives on the line, sinking that little ship of yours would be an easy task. See that ship in the distance? The government is watching us. Zebek says, so you think you can earn more merit with the government acting like this? You underestimate us too much, oh King of the Giants. If you just sit back and watch us tear each other apart, I'm sure the government will pardon you. Because no matter what you do, you're still a madman who wants to change Elbaf, right? Note, Rox calls Harald Dikabutsu instead of Chudenzu. Both mean king of the giants, but Dekabutsu is a more colloquial / slangy term compared to the standard Chuden. Zibek says, "Can we talk? Just the two of us." Zibek says, "I'm sure you've heard about where we're headed and what we're going to do. Listen carefully. I'm only telling this to you. This is something I don't intend to share even with my own crew." Giants say, "What is this about, Your Highness?" Always so laid back, that bastard. Shiki, of all times, my Shaki is waiting to be saved. Right back to their conversation. Zibek says, "I have a secret name. Davy D. Zebek." So it's not Rox. I'm sure it's a name the world government has always wanted to erase. A family whose ancestry traces back to the legendary pirate, Davy D. Jones. They wielded influence in the underworld, and even now they're barely managing to survive. Note the term underworld here is written as Yami no Sekai, literally world of darkness. It seems to refer to the illegal syndicate of the One Piece world, commonly called Urashakai, also translated as underworld. This should not be confused with the underworld, Mingekai, location in Elbaf. Page 15, Rox says, "I feel like I'm being drawn in by some great force of fate. Taking Shaki was their huge mistake. As long as I can get my wife and child to safety, that's more than enough for me. But I don't feel like luck is on my side, Harold. So, lend me a hand here." It says, "I refuse. I'll sink all of you right here." Harold shows a strained look on his face. There's men. "Do not interfere." "What? Rox, you spineless bastards." It may be hard to believe, but once every 3 years, the Celestial Dragons choose an island among the unaffiliated nations of the world government, one rich in resources, and conduct a game called Human Hunt, in which the native inhabitants are all massacred. "Citizen, please save us. There's no way this kind of event should be allowed." Pages 16 to 17 box, the day of the God Valley incident. Now, following the rare devil fruits, here is the grand prize for today's tournament. Hailing from the Island of Women within the calm belt of the Grand Line, its former empress, renowned as the most beautiful woman in the world. Her name is Shakuyaku. Make her your wife or make her your slave. It's all up to you. Participant. Wow, she's beautiful. I want her. I want her. She's a first-class prize, carefully preserved without being sullied right after acquisition. Sommers says, "No way. If I win, I'll make her my slave." Guarding, keep dreaming. That's my wife, Sommers. If you participate, we might win the trophy in the clan wars. Dragon finds the mother of Shanks and Shamrock. Teach's mother is also there. Red-haired woman says, "Please, take my children away from this island. Don't let him have them." Teach's mother says, "Come here, Teach. It's okay. You must survive at all costs. And if you're a world noble, you definitely know them. This tournament's super rare rabbits, in addition to the boy from the Buccaneer tribe surpassing a period of 800 years, they have finally been found. The Davy clan. Final note, everything is connected on this island. No break next week. That's it, everyone. This was the complete and narrated chapter of One Piece 1159. And now it's time for God Valley. Finally, the most awaited event is about to be revealed. Well, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Until next time, and thanks.